For this simplified example, we'll use a program from an AGV. The symptom? The automated guided vehicle will not move forward in manual mode using the joystick. The first decision is whether to start the ladder logic trace with the relative input or the relative output. For this symptom, the input is the joystick. For this example, we chose to start the trace with the motor forward output. Note, a contact is highlighted green to indicate the condition is being met. The contact is true. After using the PLC software search, cross-referencing, or schematics, if available, we see that the real-world output address to move the smart car forward is 0.2/6. We also immediately see that the PLC output is not true. The PLC is not telling the vehicle to move. Tracing back, to the left, we see the rung output is not true because input from internal bit B50/0 is not true. Use the PLC software search or cross-referencing tool to find the internal output bit B50/0 to see why it is not true. As you trace left from the B50 to 0 output, you see that forward MS auxiliary, address B3/398 is not true, causing the rung/output not to be true. Using the PLC software search or cross-reference feature, you can find the rung that turns B3/398 on and off. As you trace left from the B3/398 output, you see the e-stop bits are true, the plugging timer, and all the manual operation branch bits, including the joystick bit, are true. You see the run bit B3/2 is not true, resulting in the rung/output not being true. So, you search for the output rung controlling the B3/2 input. On that rung, you see real-world input IA1/0 is not true. As it is a real-world input, you are now done with ladder logic trace. Before grabbing your meter for standard electromechanical troubleshooting, press the Start Momentary push button while monitoring the input on your computer. This way, you can verify whether the PLC is not receiving the input. You never know, the operator could have forgotten to press the button, in which case the input would become true when the button is pressed. That's it. Troubleshooting using a PLC is that simple, especially with the RS Logix 500 PLC brand. It typically takes only a few minutes, regardless of the equipment's complexity.